Hi, this is Lisa Somerville for Divinity Designs. Today I'm here to share with you the Blessings Box for April 2026. Divinity Designs Blessings Box is a quarterly membership kit. The Blessings Box is released in January, April, July, and October. Membership price is just $75 plus shipping. Our Blessings Box does contain exclusive products. After 6 months, those products can then be purchased individually on our website. When you receive your Blessings Box, you'll also receive a flyer that shows the kit contents. Inside the April 2026 Blessings Box, we have 1 clear stamp set, 3 custom dies, and 2 paper pad collections. We also have some add-on products that are sold separately that I'll share with you at the end of the video. The kit exclusive products for April 2026 is the Light of Life stamp set. This is a clear stamp set that contains 6 stamps. As a reminder, when using clear stamps, be sure to condition your stamps prior to using. Conditioning your stamps will remove any film or residue that might be left on the stamp and ensures a nice crisp image when stamping. Retail value of this stamp set is $19.95. And now we have the kit exclusive dies for the April 2026 Blessings Box. The first die set, Lighthouse. Retail value $17.95. Divinity Designs Lighthouse die set is a set of 6 dies. Die cut these dies following the directions for your die cutting machine, then assemble to create the lighthouse. On the right, you can see all these dies were die cut from cardstock. You have the solid dies and the decorative dies. On the bottom, you can see the decorative die cuts adhered to the solid die cut. And on the bottom left, you can see all those die cuts were adhered together to form the lighthouse. You can then use those die cuts to embellish your cards, scrapbook pages, or home decor projects. The next die set, Slatted and Eclipse Arch. Retail value $19.95. Divinity Designs Slatted and Eclipse Arch die set is a set of 2 dies. This contains the base die and the inset slatted die. And here you can see the 2 dies. And here you can see a sample using the Slatted and Eclipse Arch die set, along with one of our paper pad collections. If you watched the videos from our February 2026 release, I did share a few ways to use the Slatted and Eclipse dies. In this video, I'm going to be sharing an additional way to use these dies. When you die cut these dies from your pattern paper, you're going to want to use removable tape to hold the 2 dies together. On the right, you can see I've used both those dies to die cut into the pattern paper. And on the left, you can see I die cut both those dies into a piece of fun foam. I'm going to use that to add the dimension to my Slatted and Eclipse project. Again, there are multiple ways that you can use the Slatted and Eclipse die sets. Here you can see the Slatted and Eclipse Arch dies die cut from the pattern paper. I can die cut multiple pieces of cardstock and adhere that to the back side for dimension. I can also use foam tape on the back for added dimension. I can die cut the same piece of pattern paper using one of our rectangle dies. I can then use foam tape or the added cardstock for dimension and layer that on top of the pattern paper. But in this video, we're going to be using the Slatted and Eclipse Arch die set, die cut from foam, for the added dimension. Using your favorite adhesive, adhere the Slatted and Eclipse Arch that was die cut from pattern paper to the Slatted and Eclipse Arch that was die cut from foam. That's going to give you the added dimension that you need for your project. So here you can see the added dimension with the fun foam die cut attached to the back of the die cut pattern paper. Now you can create the eclipse look 2 different ways. You could adhere the Slatted and Eclipse Arch over the duplicate piece of pattern paper like you see here, or you could adhere the dimensional Slatted and Eclipse die cut to the base die cut and then inset those slatted die cuts. You can experiment with the many different ways that you can use the slatted and eclipsed dies to find a method that works best for you. Out of all the different methods that I've used to create dimension using the slatted and eclipsed dies, my favorite method is using the fun foam. Then you can use those die cuts to embellish your cards. And the last die set, triple panel pop-up card. This is a set of 12. Retail value, $49.95. This does fold flat and fits into an A2 envelope. And here you can see a completed project using this die set. This does fold flat and fits into an A2 envelope. The triple panel pop-up card die set is a set of 13 dies. This contains the double panel and 2 layers for each section, and the single panel and 2 layers. You'll die cut these dies from cardstock and pattern paper. When die cutting the layering dies, be sure to die cut and emboss following the directions for your die cutting machine. Embossing the dies will bring out the detail of the dies. Assembly directions can also be found inside the packaging. Here you can see all the pieces from this die set, die cut and embossed from pattern paper, and die cut from cardstock. When assembling this die set, you can use the double layers or a single layer. When you die cut the double panel, it will die cut and score for you. And there you can see the die cut and embossed single layer. And there's the addition of the die cut and embossed double layer. And here we have the single panel along with 1 layer and the double layer. For my sample in this video, I'm going to be creating the card using the double layers. Here you can see that I've adhered those die cut and embossed layering panels together, and I'm going to set those aside and work with the base. So working with the base dies, we're going to fold on the score line. Again, you can refer to the inside of your packaging for assembly directions. On the side panel, your score is a valley fold. And shown here is the double panel. Working left to right, in the center we have mountain, valley, mountain, and the 2 center folds are mountain. Adhere that double panel to the single panel. You'll place adhesive on the tab of the single panel like you see here. And next we're going to adhere that double panel on top of the tab of the single panel. Once those die cut panels are adhered together, you have the base for the triple panel pop-up card. Now you can adhere the die cut and embossed layering panels and finish embellishing your card. Next, we have our 2 paper pad collections. Coastal Beacons paper pad. This contains 6 designs, 18 of each image. The sizes are approximately 2.5 by 2.5 and coordinates with the square dies. These beautiful images can also be die cut along with some of our additional shape dies. And the last paper pad, Sunset Solitude A2 card fronts. This contains 36 designer papers, 6 sheets of each design. This coordinates with the A2 portrait card base with layer die set. The card fronts may be die cut using the layering die. Again, to die cut the A2 card fronts, you can use the layering die from the A2 portrait card base with layer die set. Simply center the die over the beautiful pre-printed paper. Use removable tape to hold the die in place, then die cut and emboss following the directions for your die cutting machine. That will leave you the die cut and embossed panels that you can use to embellish your A2 cards. Here you can see the die cut and embossed layer on the A2 portrait card base, and here's the addition of the matting rectangle for a pop of color behind the layer panel. Here's another one of the designs from that paper pad collection. And again, the addition of the matting rectangle for a pop of color. Here's a few additional samples using that paper pad along with additional Divinity Designs products. So those are the kit exclusive products for the April 2026 Blessings box. Now let's take a look at some of the projects created by our design team using the April 2026 Blessings box along with additional Divinity Designs products. Now I'd like to share with you some add-on products that are sold separately. We have the Lighthouse Layering Combo Die Set. Divinity Designs Lighthouse Layering Combo Die Set is a set of 7 dies. When you use these layering dies, you're going to see that they're numbered on the back of the dies. As you can see by the examples on the packaging, there's 2 different ways that you can use this die set. On the left are all 7 dies layered together to form the dimensional lighthouse. Shown on the right are dies number 1 and 3 through 7. And here's a finished sample of all 7 dies, die cut and layered together. Die number 1 die cuts, you're going to have all the pieces that fall from the die cut. Here you can see that I've inlaid those pieces back into the die cut using a different color of cardstock. And I did the same thing with die 3 to add the windows back into the lighthouse. Here you can see the dies die cut from cardstock, die 1, 2, 3, and 4, and die cuts 5, 6, and 7. You'll use your favorite adhesive to adhere those die cut pieces together. Here you can see die cuts 3 through 7. Here we have die cuts 1 and 3 through 7. So here you can see on the left are die cuts 1 through 7. And on the right we have die cuts 1 and 3 through 7. Again, you can die cut the pieces that fall from die cut 1 and from the windows in die cut 3 and add them back into the opening of the die cuts. So there you can see I added the die cut pieces that fell from die cut 3 in yellow cardstock to add the windows and the door. And here you can see I added those die cut pieces from die cut 1 back into the opening of the die cut. The Lighthouse Layering Combo die set can be used along with our A2 landscape and portrait card base with layered die sets, along with our square card base with layered die set and square dies. And 2 paper pad collections. Both of these paper pads are A2 card fronts. The first paper pad, Stained Glass Lighthouses A2 card fronts. This contains 36 designer papers, 6 card fronts of each design. It coordinates with the A2 landscape card base with layer die set. The card fronts may be die cut using the layering die. And then we have Maritime Mosaics A2 card fronts. This contains 32 designer papers, 8 sheets of each design. It coordinates with the A2 landscape card base with layer die set. Card fronts may be die cut using the layering die. And here you can see one of the papers from the Stained Glass Lighthouses A2 card fronts on an A2 landscape card base, and again with a matting rectangle for a pop of color. With our A2 card fronts, you can also use some of our border dies to change the look of your cards. Again, those 3 products are add-ons and not included in the April 2026 Blessings box. For more inspiration, visit the product page on our website, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Instagram.